Peace, this is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, send the poor and the fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, in your God, and all of you are children of the Most High, that you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth. Thou shalt inherit all nations. Allahu Akbar.
This is Kamala Fix, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Marina with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin and my sibling nature out there. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I want to give a shout out to my dad for raising me and my family to be around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
And you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Peace, Hotel. It's Mansour Hotel, a.k.a. Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity doesn't sound good. I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shout out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up, please.
line.
If you're not adding
I missed you,
anything to
baby.
the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry this name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Radio. Shout out to Mr. Tasha. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
Uh-oh.
This is Gina, and you are now on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
Family, I'm giving y'all time. My production assistants have got me my water. The number to call in is 614-556-4535. I am pissed. And I'm having this show. I meant to drop an Instagram. Because family, listen. Like and share on Facebook and on YouTube or wherever you tuning in. Because we're about to have a real community sit down and talk. And listen, I can't say what I can say. I represent Gye-Nyame. I can't say all the other organizations that I'm part of. But Gye-Nyame, I can say that shit. Right? Because when it's time to go to war, it's time to go to war. It's time for us to take the gloves off and stop playing with these Negroes that are soft-touching us and hiding behind the culture and all that shit. I am so pissed right now. Lady J is on the line, right? Check this out. Regardless of how me and her argue on the show, or how her and Quasi get along, or how any of y'all and any of us in Gye-Nyame get along, one of the things that we had for sure that was in common was the fact that we had to work together to make sure that we are able to get our children to where we need to get them. Whether it was Simba Camp or whether we having camps of our own. And I have ran into a major roadblock into me being able to do that just in the last month. This shit right now, I am so pissed that I have to bring up, and I'm going to discuss on this show tonight, and I don't give a fuck what the ramifications are. Because I am upset. My heart is broke, and I'm tired of us hiding behind the bullshit. And we need to come clear and come clean as a community so that we can start dealing with these false, fake motherfuckers who have credentials that have been provided for them by our enemies. And I'm sick of it. And I'm like this, family. Listen, it's all or nothing at this point in time. It's all or nothing. Now, Lady J is on the line. I'm going to let her go and open up in the regular way she do. We got somebody calling through California, and that more than likely is our correspondent from Africa right now, West Africa, Guinea-Bissau. So, Lady J, go ahead, do your thing. But I'm telling you, I'm going in on these fools tonight. So please come with it. Uh-oh, everybody quiet now.
I had the hiccups, Hatem.
That's good.
All of a sudden, I had the hiccups.
You allowed to have the hiccups because you know why? Because you just came from a camp where you were developing the next generation of our women. So have all the hiccups that you need, baby. So take that hiccup and allow the person from California that's calling in right now to go on and do her thing. And then after you get done with your hiccups, you drink your water. She will say her thing, but I'm about to go in on these fools tonight. I'm so sick of the frauds. I'm so sick of the fake. and I can't take it no more. But go ahead. Who calling in from the Escanada, California? I got a good idea who that is. Well, they might just be calling in to listen. Okay. So Lady J gonna get rid of her hiccups, and we're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna read the story. We're gonna go into it. But family, let me tell you what I'm dealing with right now. Lady J, you wanna go before I go on and just blow this shit up?
I'm still trying to figure out. Sorry. I have the hiccups.
All right, cool.
And for anybody that knows, I have extreme food allergies. So I think the hiccups might be a result of my food allergies.
Uh-oh.
Sure, but
Sherry Hamilton says she can't hear nothing. I hope you can hear us now, Sister Sherry. Family, listen up. So, we had an opportunity in Columbus to bring early the 5th installment of Hidden Colors. And it appears that we were blocked from doing that. And I am pissed. Now, let me tell you what I was blocked by. Tariq Nasheed is a hustler. I have no problem with that. He does good work, and he attracts a following. He has a certain following. We were going to be able to do it. We had made arrangements. We had the money put aside, and any other extra money that we had to do, we had time to raise it. So on June the 6th, I put in a request for a school to use the building so that we will be able to show the movie. We couldn't show the movie on opening night because Tariq Nasheed demanded that it need to be in the theater. I have problems with that. But I won't go into that problem because Tariq could do what the fuck he want. That's his shit. Now, Tariq gave us his demand, and we met his demand, and we met his price point so that we would be able to do our show on the Kuumba after the opening night and bring it to Columbus early. But we were blocked. And we were blocked by a school that ran up under the title, listen to me, that ran up under the title of Afrocentric. I am so pissed right now because
what did they run up under the title of?
Afrocentric.
Okay, so why are you confused? I'm confused.
I'm confused because this is a school that my tax money goes to fund. That I was going to rent the building and be able to do everything that they needed me to do, and never got a response whether we could do the movie or not.
So why come you didn't use the school that you're affiliated with, Hachim?
Well, first off, did you hear? First off, now this is what we got to work on. We got to work on your listening skills. I want to work on your listening skills, right? Tariq Nasheed has certain things, and then also you have to understand that when we talk about doing a movie premiere, this ain't just where we come together and doing a black studies thing. This is a movie premiere. And every time he premieres a movie, he sells out every venue that he is in.
What are you talking about? My question again, Hachim, is why are we confused? You're not talking about a school district or a school that is ran privately. You are talking about a school whom the founder, whom the person...
You don't even know who the founder is. Stop it. Stop it. You don't know who the founder is.
I'm going to finish. You're going to let me finish.
Go ahead, but you don't know who the founder is because we had that discussion. You're confused about the history of that.
The individual who had a vision already ran into roadblocks. and he was already familiar with the roadblocks that he would acquire along this route. And so,
Listen, Lady J, listen. Now, I just want to end this call here. Because you're going to call in to justify this bullshit.
What are we talking about?
Wait, hold on. Somebody else is on the line. Who is it? Who's on the line? Somebody else is on the line. Hello?
I'm not justifying anything. What I'm saying to you is that
Who got a baby on the goddamn line? Get the baby off the line.
It's your baby.
Oh my God. Hang up the phone. I'm sorry, Lady J. I'm sitting up and get mad at you. It's my kids asking questions. Go ahead.
My point is, I don't know why we should be confused. It's bureaucracy. And when we're dealing with bureaucracy, we should never be confused.
Lady J.
That is why.
Lady J.
That is why.
Lady J.
Heritage that we own.
Lady J.
We have.
Lady J.
What is it?
Give me the history of the Afrocentric School.
The big point about the Afrocentric School is though that entity wished to be a private institute, it is not a private institute.
Who is you talking about?
Columbus City Schools.
No, but I want you to say the name of the person you're talking about. Go ahead.
I'm saying what I need to say.
Well, say what you need to say. Because now.
Can I finish?
But I want you to finish on the point.
Can I finish?
Well, hold on. I want you to finish on the point because you're about to call in with some bullshit. I want you to finish with the point of who you're talking about. And because Afrocentric School was never designed to be a private school. And then on top of that, I want you to break down the history of Afrocentric School rather than from the partial history that you have.
I'm not going into any of those histories. What I'm going to tell you, Hatem, is that whenever they gave the right for you to have your charter schools, that's what gave the right for you to have schools that were immune for some of the roadblocks that the system.
You're incorrect. You're incorrect.
And let me finish.
You're incorrect.
Let me.
But you want to finish on an incorrect point, because any school that is being funded by my tax dollars and by the tax dollars of my community should be at service for our community.
Any school that is a public school. But
Exactly.
Your tax dollars also go to your charter school. So when you say that you have a community school that is built for the people and by the people, then that school is immune from those votes. That school is immune from that improvement.
Who?
The Afrocentric school is not. The Afrocentric school is not, even though it was in its
Lady J. Lady J. Stop it. You saying the Afrocentric?
You don't want to listen.
No, you damn right I don't want to listen. You damn right I don't want to listen. Because you're talking Boulder Dash. Right?
Okay, then I won't talk. I guess you don't want to hear.
I don't. I don't want to hear that shit. Because they're not immune. Because I pay taxes for that motherfucking building. And you pay taxes for that building.
I would ask for 2 minutes.
No, you take no. You take too goddamn long to explain your shit. Get to the point. What are you saying?
I am saying this much. I am saying that whenever we were given whenever we would give the approval, I'm saying this, the individual that had a mind to create that Afrocentric school, we know that we met barriers. We met barriers when it came to what the idea of that founder was. And we know why we met.
Who was the founder, Lady J?
So I'm going to say Dr. Kenneth was.
I will laugh. Ha 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 ha. Because you don't know what the fuck you talking about with that.
That helped get the founding and the money for the Afrocentric school. But whenever he wanted to make that make that sort of like what we call a charter school, it did not work. And so he fell up under the Columbus City Schools. And we know that those people of color are the people who seek to hire for that school district. Though they are the people that seek to form a foundation for that school district, there are barriers that prevent them from doing so. And so what I want to say is that we have private schools or we have charter schools that have a different way of bargaining, have a different way of behavior that they are awake to do, which is not the Columbus School District.
On my show with this bullshit.
It's not what the Columbus School District is able to do. But when you have charter schools or private schools that are able to operate in the manner in which they choose, they should be the ones that are.
Why do you come?
They should be the ones.
Why do you come on my show with this bullshit?
You say I'm fooling?
You come on my show, and I love you. And you come on my show. I ain't say cooning. I said bullshit. I'm not gonna. You never coon. You're not about that. But you do come with some bullshit sometimes, baby. I can't.
I'm asking you if that were the case, why didn't we hold the didn't we hold the Malcolm X at another venue?
Because
we
hold on. Time out.
Let me
No. You asked a question. We hold the Malcolm X Festival when we can. Now, I have not asked any other venue to hold the Malcolm X Festival. We hold the Malcolm X Festival where we can. I asked another venue that is a public facility, and I get held back because of an individual in the school that does not want to practice or even want to look at the principles of what that school was based on. Because now, you go into all of the stories, because Afrocentric was formed before the whole charter school movement. And the Afrocentric school was designed for this. And then I had the opportunity to go to the Afrocentric school and walk down in Guza Saba Way. I walked from the parking lot, and they had our principles engraved on the goddamn wall. I walked into the school, I walked down the hallway, and I walked into an Egyptian, a Kemetic model of the universe. And I'm wondering why we can't have events up in there when I'm paying taxes. And the other 400 to 600 people that I can't sit at the school that I've been using, why should we be able to use that school? See, what we do is we go in and we start negotiating and start complying with these motherfuckers' rules, even on our shit. I'm not with that. You can't, see, because for me, when people come at me and you don't have a history, you don't have a history. You don't have a history. See, because you want to say that you're ancient as shit. You're new at what I do. You're new. Because when we talk about the Afrocentric school in Columbus, Ohio, the whole reason it's called Afrocentric connects it back to my shit.
I'm confused.
Connects it.
I'm confused.
Go ahead. Because you don't know the history. That's why you're confused. You don't know the history.
I'm confused.
All right, go ahead and ask a question. If you're confused, ask a question.
I'm confused. You saying I don't understand understand why you are confused. The thing is, just like when Obama went into presidency, there are things.
You had his titty in his mouth too. You had your titty in his mouth too. But go ahead.
We understand how he operates. And so when we go into the Afrocentric school, if we understand what parameters were placed on them, we would not be confused by what they are able to do.
Lady J, is it okay? Let me ask you that. Maybe you're confused with what I'm asking about. Is it okay?
I would say that individual.
No. Is it okay?
And those individuals who had a mind, they had a mind for something much greater for that Afrocentric school.
What's greater than your principles? What's greater than my eye? What's greater than Nguza Saba? What's greater than that?
Let me give you one instance. One instance. When it came to that school, they had a requirement what percentage of those individuals would be African American teaching, what individuals would not, and they cannot get the greater board to agree. So they had compromise. But that doesn't mean that their vision
Lady J,
that was great.
You are pissing me off, man. Because I'm listening to you, and it's like you're going back to justifying bullshit. Don't come on my show justifying bullshit. You're justifying bullshit.
You're the one with the private institution. You're the one that don't have to.
No. My institution is not private. It is public. Just like Columbus Public Schools. It is a public facility. It's a public. Just like Afrocentric. And I have the right to use it. And you have the right to use it. Especially if it has Afrocentric on it. You are speaking from a position of not knowing. And I'm so sick of niggas speaking to me from a perspective of not knowing.
I'm not speaking to you from a perspective.
Yes, you are. Because you already told me who you think the founder is. I know who the founders are. And I know why the Afrocentric school was put in place in the way it was.
Let me say, and if it were really put into it like the vision that the people who found it had, you wouldn't have to go to Columbus City School to ask for permission to host a movie at that venue. You wouldn't have to, because it wouldn't have been a part of Columbus City.
Hold on.
In fact, it was not.
Hold on.
It was not a part of Columbus City.
What is not? Columbus. Wait, hold on. See, this is where hold on. This is where me and you part on this. Afrocentric School has always been a part of Columbus Public Schools. And it has all
that they had for Afrocentric School.
Oh my God. Lady J, stop it. Hold on, let me put my mic in so people can hear you. I mean, because this is ridiculous, Lady J. I'm sitting up here. So you telling me, yes it is. So you're saying that Afrocentric never part of Columbus Public Schools?
What I said is in its inception, it was not designed to be a part of Columbus City School.
So who paid for it?
In its idea.
Who paid for it?
In the idea.
You always want to finish. Get to the point. Because
not allowing it.
All right, hurry up. You got 1 minute. I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:07. You got to 10:08. Go ahead.
I just said that the person who had, or the individuals that I had an idea for the Afrocentric School, it was not to be a part of Columbus City Schools. And the reason it was not to be a part of Columbus Schools is because they had an idea of the people they wanted to hire. They had an idea of the way they wanted that to run. And so it would not have been a part because they knew about bureaucracy. And so with me saying that, I want to say that when you have charter schools have much more leniency to do whatever it is that they want to do without the bureaucracy of a school district.
So you saying it's okay that Afrocentric School receives federal dollars, receives our city dollars and and all of our taxes, and is able to do what the fuck they are able to do up under the moniker of Afrocentric School.
I'm saying this, that the individuals who had a mind for Afrocentric, that have a visual for Afrocentric, I don't believe that they ever had a vision for it to fall under Columbus City Schools.
No, I disagree. You know why? You know why I disagree? And you know why I'm not going to let you finish? Wait, hold on, stop. You're not going to finish. Because you were still in, hold on, you were still in college when my elders was trying to bang this shit out. So you coming with some shit up afterwards to justify bullshit. I'm not on that. Now, what I'm going to ask is that you be quiet for a couple of minutes. We have other callers that's calling in. We got 2 other callers calling in. We got somebody from 614-783. If you want to make a comment, you can. We also have, I ain't going to say the name unless you want me to say the name, but we got another business person on the line as well. Anybody else want to speak up? Or everybody else?
Sorry, I was
Go ahead.
on mute. I don't know exactly what y'all were talking about, but I will say there was no such thing, in my recollection, there was no such thing as a charter school when the Afrocentric School was first created. And I'm not saying that they never had the vision of having it separate from Columbus City Schools, but from the first time I heard about it, it was through Columbus City Schools, and my daughter went there from the first year that it was open. She was 5 years old at the time. And she went there through graduation.
And they're stopping, and the only thing I'm saying is, if we paying tax dollars, any of these buildings should be open to us to be able to use. Now, I could go in on a whole nother different direction right now, and I'm trying to hold back. And Lady J, I love you, but what I'm saying is, in some instances, it's like we have to stop as a people accepting the bullshit, especially when we're paying for it. It would be different if it was a private school, but it has always been a public school. Always. Y'all have not noticed that we have not had any African celebrations at a school called Afrocentric? Has nobody noticed this?
This is funny to me. I just think this is funny to me. I'm just going to be honest. It's funny to me. It's just like when Barack Obama was elected president and people thought that he was going to do something special because he was black. It's the bureaucracy that's everything. We have to understand politics. And so when we understand politics, we understand how things are run and how things are ordained. And with this, it's just like when we blamed Obama for the things he didn't do for black people when people didn't put him in the position to do those things. And the same is true for that.
How did we put him in a position? We put him in office. He was president. How did we not put him in position? How wasn't he put in position? You justify bullshit. You about to get clipped.
When the vision was that the gross majority of the educators in that building would be African American, he could not deliver. And he could not deliver because when it came time for the people on the board and in the union to vote, they voted against it. If he were a private school, if he were a
what year did you come? What year?
It would not have been.
What year?
So again, I say to you, when you understand politics, none of these things become none of these things are surprising.
Lady J, let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna be done with our conversation. Is it okay? See, because we go into conversations where we justify what happens. Is what Barack Obama did not do for us, okay, is what the Afrocentric. See, because for me, if it was called Eastmore, if it was called East, if it was called South Columbus, it's not called any of those things. Afrocentric brings up a whole different level for me. See, because those that are immersed, hold on, you talk, hold on, time out. This is why you was put out of class when you was young. This is why you was put out of class when you was young, because you don't listen. Listen, I have to go because first off, this is the piece that somebody else want to talk. Is somebody else out there? Somebody else hung up. Listen, Lady J. All I'm asking, and this is the only answer I want, possibly a yes or a no, and a short answer. Is it okay? If they rocking up under your name. Oh, Barack Obama only had the black skin. He was never rocking up under us. This is rocking up under us. And maybe because you don't have the history, and I could give you that right now, rather than you trying to justify the bullshit that's happening, and you asking why I'm saying that it's some bullshit, why don't you let me explain that to you so that you can understand? Barack Obama never came in on no super strong black shit. He used the fact that he was black to get into office. But those of us that's in the know already knew that he wasn't going to be able to do anything for us, and he wasn't going to do anything for us. And unfortunately, he proved us right. But
I disagree with those.
But hold on, of course, because all the shit that he did do for black people is not funded. But you won't admit that shit because you got your titty in that man's mouth, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's okay for where you are. But Obama never came in. Obama never came in saying that he was Afrocentric.
And I pause you right there. I'm going to say again, the vision that they have for Afrocentric, it was vetoed at these meetings from its inception. So what they wanted to do, they were not given the right to do under the Board of Education. They were not. So what they asked for, it was not agreed upon under the Board of Education. So we have to remember that you have two entities. You have the public schools and you have charter schools. Charter schools
were not around when Afrocentric started, baby. Not here.
They were. And for you to say that they weren't is a foul. For you to say that they weren't is a foul.
Lady J, I be trying not to click your ass off, but I'm about to click you off. I'm about to click you off. Because you have your titty in the mouth of white supremacy, and it's bothering me. I'm just saying.
I don't have my mouth. I don't have my titty in the mouth of
you need to stop supporting this bullshit.
Is how do you make?
I'm sorry, family. I can't do it. Not today. I can't do it. Not today. All I'm saying is now. Far as the history of Afrocentric school is available for everybody to look up. Even though this wasn't supposed to be the major piece of my show. It's very available. And we knew that it was going to be a public school. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. And I know a lot of people don't agree with libations. And I know a lot of people don't agree with unity circles. And I know a lot of people don't agree with a lot of stuff that was going on. But this thing is carrying my name. It's carrying the name of our family. It's carrying the name specifically that was created by individuals in Columbus, Ohio. And when we want to throw events in this venue, we are not able to do that because the administration that has been placed there blocks everything that we want to do because it's too black. How the fuck can you rock under the name of Afrocentric? At least change it to Afro. Afro is national. That's what Malife Asante came up with in the original concept of his idea of Afrocentric education. The reason Afrocentric has an I in it, an AFRI, is because our elders got involved with the process. This is what people coming from the outside don't understand. Motherfuckers that's historians and shit, they come from the outside, they don't understand that. So they want to come and they want to try to educate us on how the process is supposed to work. All I'm saying is they're rocking up under our name. They have our principles on the side of the building. Why isn't this institution open to us? And at least, if we apply for something, we are able to be gotten in touch with in a reasonable amount of time so that we could change venues. That's not asking a lot of a bureaucracy. I don't think that's acting a lot. I don't think that us wanting to show a movie that will appeal to elders and young folks is a lot. I don't think us wanting to throw holidays that are connected to the struggle of black people in America is a lot. I don't even think it's offensive. And if it is, I don't think that if it's rocking under the name Afrocentric, we should even give a damn. Now, I understand people got to keep their job, and that's cool. That's why I try to rent it. That's why I try to rent the school under Gye-Nyame, so that the school could go and disavow themselves from that. And because it's a public place, we can rent it. But like I said, it's a deeper conversation to this than just me alluding to a movie in early August. I'm going to bring that up later. Not today, because I am under penalty from my family. You know what I'm saying? I just need for people to understand that we have institutions rocking up under our name that are not truly representing what we stand for. How is Afrocentric? How does it go from Afrocentric to universal education? Give me a break. How does it go? It has the Unguza Saba on the side of the building. That comes straight up out of ADOS. Sister Cynthia Johnson is another Columbus school and option. Not now. Not now, because Afrocentric kept us waiting 21 days. So right now, boom, we gonna have to wait for the CD in Columbus. But we could have premiered it, and the whole piece is the auditorium 600 people is enough room for all the vendors, damn near Columbus that we have. Is enough room to get everybody that wants some conscious information right there. And I'm sitting up here, I got to go on and look for other options? And it's named Afrocentric? Are you serious? Family, we got to stop getting punked. The only reason that the Board of Education, the City Council is able to operate like this is because we default on our voice in getting at them. I'm sorry. Sister Sherry, you on right now. You got something you want to say?
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying.
Cause I'm just so hurt right now, because and then I got people that want to school me on some shit that they weren't even involved with. They was still in middle school when the shit was going down. I see my elders going to the meetings. I see my elders trying to structure the set. I seen the school operating with the principals, operating with the relationships, operating with the unity circle, operating with the morning rituals. And all of a sudden now, it's too black. But when it comes to...
It's been too black. It's been too black.
Is it possible to get the original charter? That's the thing I was thinking about earlier.
It is. It's very possible to get the original charter. And that's going to be one of the things... That's going to be one of the things that we have to do.
It's been too black.
And the issue in America that we have to start facing as ADOS is what is too black. How can anything in America be too black?
I want to say this. I just want to point out that whenever this school became and they first started with the idea, I remember when the school first started, right? I remember the parades through the community. I remember what they were requiring the parents to do. I remember all of those things, but I also remember the drawback that they received from the council. I remember that. And I remember that that's how things began to change. I remember that they had an ideal on the number of percentage of the African-American teachers that will be in place. And I remember they were able to fill that quota. And not only that they were able to require that quota because it was a public school. And I understand this, that you have private schools or charter schools that have a much greater leniency. They may not have the building and the capacity that those schools have, but they have a different operating system. And I understand that. So again, what I said before, I say again. When we think about Obama and when we think about the expectations that we have to understand who put him or how did he come into play. And the same thing goes for the Afrocentric school. The idea that they have for Afrocentric school, they were not able to put completely into play. And there's a reason.
But there were no white teachers for years in that school. There were no white teachers, not one for several years.
He was never able to get.
I disagree, Lady J.
Never able to.
I disagree.
The board was never.
I worked up in there. I had a contract up in there, Lady J. Lady J, I had a contract up in there.
Was never able to approve
Lady J.
that there would be no black teachers. You know how they kept the black teachers out? They treated the light-skinned teachers and the white teachers like shit. That's how they were able to keep them out. It was never.
But they were never in the building though from the beginning.
There was never a policy that said that they could not be in the building. What happened was
probably not.
Afrocentric school was not a place for light-skinned teachers, nor was Afrocentric school a place for light-skinned students, nor was Afrocentric school a place for white teachers because of the way they were treated.
I disagree with that, Lady J.
Never was it.
Stop! You about to get clipped again.
I'm brown skinned, but my daughter is light skinned. Her father is extremely light. And my daughter is light skinned. She was there from the time she was 5 till she graduated at 18. It was never made to feel less than.
Let me say this. I was a teacher in the district. I went to Afrocentric school, and I had 5 children that attended Afrocentric school. And the way that I seen the adults behave within that school, the things that I have heard from the light-skinned teachers and the white teachers let me know that they did not go there because it was an order, but because of the way they were treated.
That had to be later on. That had to be later on when things were not being run the way they were early on. Because from the very beginning, there were no white teachers didn't even apply. And yes, there were light-skinned teachers, but the light-skinned teachers didn't have any problems at all. So
Lady J, stop. You were still in high school. Come on now.
I'm talking about from 1997.
What year you graduated from college, Lady J?
Actually, it's 1996.
What year you graduated from college, Lady J?
I don't remember the first white teacher until my daughter was at least in middle school, but she started there when she was 5.
Lady J, what year you graduated? Stop. What year you graduate, Lady J? and start
to
to
99.
99. Hold on. So now, hold on. You gonna tell people that was different in the beginning, something that you experienced.
What I'm telling you is that I spoke with some of the individuals that had the inception, and what I was told was that they could never get the district to agree that there would be no teachers other
But
than
we
black
had it.
teachers.
We had it prior to you graduating from college. See, and the issue was never not having white teachers. The issue was that the school is named Afrocentric because they served the majority of black children whose ancestry was African. So we wanted to introduce them to those concepts. Now, you ask, why am I... Wait, hold on.
The discipline was run on the principles of Ma'at. That was part of the actual... I mean, that's how the school operated, under the village concept, and it lasted for many years. Now, when administrators that were holding that down were swept out and removed all at once, that's when things changed. So I'm not sure, what time frame. For the last at least 10, 12 years, the school has not been the same as it was when it first launched. So I agree with that. But in the beginning,
all I'm saying is that those individuals who had a mindset, who had a vision, their visions were not acknowledged. That's all I'm saying.
It was acknowledged in the beginning. This is what we're trying to listen. In the beginning of the process.
It was not because they never approved.
Lady J, you graduated from college in 1997. You have somebody who had their child in the school. You have somebody who contracted in the school.
And I remember this is the thing. I may have graduated in 1999, but I was a part of the teaching academy from 1995. So when it comes to studying and when it comes to being a part and when it comes to student teaching, I was doing that even as a part as a high school student. So what I'm saying, all I'm agreeing on and all I'm saying is when they had this inception, when they had this idea, they never got that support. They never got it supported. And the reason why they never got it supported is because it was a part of the Columbus City Schools. And those people who originally had the idea never thought for the Afrocentric schools to be a part of Columbus City Schools. It fell and eventually it became up under the Columbus City Schools, but originally it was thought to be a private school where they could hire all black teachers.
Lady J, stop with that. Listen to me. Stop with that. Because all I'm saying is, see, it's okay to be like, you don't know. When this shit was first established, it was understood it was going to be a Columbus public school. This is, I mean, you come and I hear you, but then you come with shit that's wrong, and then you want to admit that you're wrong. The shit was established as a Columbus public school.
That's the problem.
Oh my God! You don't even know who the. Listen, my elder. You keep running your mouth. Listen.
I'm gonna get off the phone.
Yeah, get off the phone. Get off the phone. Because my elder was one of my elders and several of my elders was involved with the process. And you don't even know.
What are we gonna do?
You don't even know. And I'm about to tell you what we're going to do. But you keep on going into some other shit. And you constantly want to talk. And you just want to be right. Rather than just listening sometimes. All I'm saying is that when you look at the original concept of the Afrocentric school, it was always meant to be a public school. It was never meant to be a private school. That's why they approached the Columbus Board of Education. You don't approach the Columbus Board of Education if you're about to start a private school. It was started through Columbus Public Education. So you come on here from 1995 talking about some shit that was going on before you was even in college. And then you be like, I'm right. And we supposed to listen to you because this is the shit that happens in our community. We get people that comes up afterwards and don't even understand. I'm sorry. Oh my God. It's so much that I want to share with y'all, but I'm going to give my family an opportunity to go and squash all of this because I have definite beef. And people don't even understand, and people don't even understand why I have beef, right? Because when I say Afrocentric is stuff that I was brought up under. It's mine. I was given that legacy. Sherry was given that legacy. Other people was given that legacy because that's what we came up through. And our elders wanted to get that to us while we were still in the public school because we understood even at that time that we couldn't afford private schools. Because even before our elders started moving for the Afrocentric school, there were private school movements and we could never support a private school in Columbus. Because we never had the money. And it's so frustrating because then we come on and we start talking and we start justifying, well, Obama couldn't do this and the school board couldn't do this and the principal couldn't do this. And we need to stop making excuses and start making ways. We know what happened back then. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What we have to do is learn to be unapologetic about our demands. And the reason why I say that is, I mean, you brought up Jewish people earlier. If somebody blinks the wrong direction when it comes to Jewish people, everybody's ready to pounce. Mm-hmm. If somebody breathes the wrong direction, when somebody's talking about somebody in the LGBTQIAC whatever letters community, then everybody's up in arms. If someone just says, I want to wear a green shirt that says, kiss me, I'm Irish, nobody gets upset.
Nobody get upset.
If somebody says, even though Mexican people don't celebrate it, but if people say, I want to wear a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo, nobody gets upset. It's only when it comes to us and our heritage and our culture, and unless it's just cultural misappropriation when they want to have white rappers and the Lord only knows what else, then it's okay. But when it comes to anything relating to our pride, our power, our strength, especially our collective power and strength, then it's a problem.
It's a problem.
That only comes from fear. It is the fear of our collective power that stops anyone from allowing us to be together and work together in that collective power. So the thing is, though, we have to consistently point out that every other community is allowed to just be. We are the only community in this nation that can't just be. Maybe short of the natives that were here before Europeans arrived. No one else, I mean, everyone else is allowed to just be, but and we just have to stop allowing that to be normal, because it's not.
And that's what bothers me, because I can't be who I am. You understand what I'm saying? I have to be politically correct. And everything that's politically correct is not what I am. You know what I'm saying? So if we say Afrocentric, we got to fit everybody in. If we say black, everybody got to fit in. There is no problem, as you say, until we start saying and demanding what it is that belongs to us. And I'm just saying, family, it's time for that to stop, and it's time for us to stop all this dancing and justifying motherfuckers doing that. They are not allowed to do that. They were able to do it in the past, but in Columbus, we have to bring a stop to it. In Kansas City, we have to bring a stop to it. We see this movement happening all over the country, and it's being sparked by young people that's in ADOS. I'm not young at all, but I do recognize what the young people are bringing, because they're bringing the heat and they're understanding the political talk. They're understanding the political moves that need to be made, and we need to start training our young people so that we can actually get some stuff that belong to us, because we have 330,000. I just learned this from Sister Sherry today. 330,000 black folks in Columbus, Ohio, right now.
Columbus and surrounding areas, but yes.
Surrounding areas, they do the suburbs and stuff to kind of gerrymander us.
Central Ohio, yep.
Right.
Suburbs.
330,000.
1.2 million in the state.
You said what in the state? 1.2 million in the state. So we should represent whatever percentage we are of the state. We should have that amount of power in the cities where we are. And the only reason that people are able to come up and speak for us is because of default. Because we have not been challenging them. We have not been. Obama was only able to do what he did because we didn't challenge him. And that was our fault.
Right.
What I'm saying is now it's time for us to make an adjustment. So I'm looking at the Afrocentric school, and I'm seeing my principals on the side of the wall, and I'm saying that building need to be open to our activities. Period. Period. Any school building in the city where somebody's doing something functional in the community, that school needs to be open to that organization. Because we pay taxes for that shit. That's all I'm saying. So when we come on and we start justifying, that's the only thing I don't like. It's getting to a point where we're justifying people's bad behavior. And we're supposed to, well, it's okay because we know how they move. And no. We're 14%. We control 3% of the wealth. We done gave them their way.
And we just talked about it. Butch and I were just talking about this. They say we only 14%. We
don't even know, do we? We don't even really know.
Yeah.
See, because we just sit back and we allow it. Like, for example, on your site and my site, what we need to do is start finding a way to count our people, at least in Ohio, or maybe we might need to connect with other organizations and do a nationwide count. Because we don't really know our numbers, because they could tell us anything. And we need to really know our numbers in Columbus and our political power in Columbus so that we can start demanding what's ours. The stuff that's going on is not okay. The way the police treat us is not okay. The way these other businesses are treating us is not okay. And we need to be able to let them know it's not okay and let them know that we are not okay with it. Because as long as we sit here and do like the Democratic Party or the Republican Party want us to sit here and be like, oh, it's cool, we always going to get what we've been getting. But the only issue for me is that I have children, and I know if they getting what I'm getting because I got less than my grandfather, and my mother got less than my grandfather, and I got less than my mother. What does that mean for my children? What does that mean for my grandchildren? When they're able to project to 2053 and look at the numbers and see that at the rate that we're going, we will be at zero wealth. And I got people calling here justifying the bullshit. Y'all don't understand the pain that I'm going through. I am 51 years old. I got babies. And I can't promise them shit. And I'm 8 generations deep here, at least. And that's not okay. It's not okay. And it's not because my grandfather wasn't shit. And it's not because my father wasn't shit. And it's not because it's a system that has been placed to put us in the situation we are in. Nobody else finds it's a problem that we got generations of dope dealers and people going to jail? And like it's the only thing that was open for us? Y'all don't think there's a problem with that? Y'all can't see that there's a strategy for that?
No, it's a problem. But we have to. I believe in us fighting for what we deserve and what is owed to us. But again, as long as it's not at the point of us not doing for self and us not building, because I fear at times that while we're fighting and pointing out what others have and we don't have, and the wealth cap and all of that, by us it's like, you know, you live in your house and you look across and you see what your neighbors got. Oh, look, they taking another TV in there. Oh, look, they got this, they got that, and you just looking out the window. When we gonna get ours? Like we have to go out and get it, you know. So
I understand.
I just as long as we building at the same time, as long as we supporting each other's businesses and doing what we got to do to build wealth, making smart decisions, purchasing real estate, crowdfunding, got to do so that we build at the same time while we're fighting, because they're not going to give us anything.
I agree.
And we can't just wait for HR 40 to go through. We can't just wait until we can grow up, you know, young politicians and get them. Like it has to be an all points attack, and one of the biggest parts of that all points attack, and the way that we can protest and push back with, especially for those people that are scary and don't want to be on the front lines. Move your money to a black bank. Send your child to a black college. Get your stuff from black businesses whenever possible. Drive across town if you have to. Order online if you have to. That's what we have to do. That's our responsibility. So I definitely agree with fighting for what's owed to us and what's ours.
Right.
As long as we're putting as much of a priority on what we do every day and educating our brothers and sisters on what they need to do every day. Now,
listen to what she's saying, family. We have to start doing this. But Sister Sherry, would you agree that all the stuff that you're talking about, we have done and been doing?
Some of us.
Yeah. Now, right now, because for example, on Kaumba, and you might not be with the language that I do.
No, I am.
All right. This. On Kaumba, this past Kaumba, they just celebrated the Highway Act. And the Highway Act is the act where they ran the expressways through every city in this country. And we connect the fact that all the expressways went through the heart.
Thriving black communities. In
right?
every city.
Now.
Including here.
Oh, man. Definitely here. Because you can see Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon fell off right when they ran it. You know, they took that whole shit, intimate domain, and moved those families out. Because the only issue that I have is that every time they sense that we're doing something else comes up where we have to be able to step back and allow the rest of the country to bloom. Yvette Cornell calls it, they enslave our people every generation. And my issue is, family, we do need to start handling our business. We do need to start shopping, but I don't want y'all to think that we're doing something new. I want you to be able to reflect back to the fact that a lot of this stuff has always been going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Always been going on. There has always been a segment of us that has always fought for freedom. Always.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the masses are caught up in the confusion of people constantly moving in and destroying what we build. And I'm willing to be one of those that's destroyed. Because I feel we have to have those voices out there. And we have to be able, but what the internet has done, it has made it possible for us to connect and do our own news network so they're coming through the city this time. Because in the 50s, we weren't able to communicate like that. One summer, you came to your family's house and they was living the life. You was able to go down the street and get a fresh chicken. You was able to go and get fresh eggs. You was able to watch the man go down the street and buy some ice from him when it was hot. You go back home, you come back, next summer, that whole neighborhood is gone. I can remember whole neighborhoods disappearing after they did the Interbelt system in Akron. And for those that don't know, for y'all here, the Interbelt system was 670. So they came through in the 50s with the expressway, 70 and 71. But 270 and 670 was built after that. We have to understand. And my piece is, I don't want y'all to feel, in a sense, helpless. But I want y'all to understand that this stuff was strategically, because if you look at what the highway bill was called, it was the Highway and Strategic Act. They had to work against you. And I want y'all to understand that we have always been doing it, and we need to get back to doing what Sister Sherry is saying. But I want y'all to understand that we have always strove for that. We have always strove to connect our families. We have always strove to build. And even now, even in some of the madness that some of these young people are doing, they're even in their madness trying to connect. But we've been, and it hurts me. Because it's like, man, it's like boom. Because all these years I was thinking that we didn't do nothing, Sister Sherry. And then you hear about Black Wall Street, and then they isolate that story like it was just Black Wall Street. That's it. You don't hear about all of the other black thriving communities.
Mm-hmm. They existed everywhere.
Everywhere.
I remember when I was little that if anybody black needed hair products, we went to Willow's Beauty Supply. That's all there was. People wasn't going to Target and Walgreens and, if you were black and you needed hair products, a simple thing like that, you went to Willow's Beauty Supply. Willis.
And now,
my mother in the background talking about went to what Willis. So I was guilty of it. I was getting, I was using black hair products, but I was getting them from Walgreens until last year. I said, what am I doing? Willow's Beauty Supply. Well, it's not Willow's Beauty Supply now. It's hair and stuff. It's still there. So I go to the bookstore. I go to, the bookstore, and inside of it is hair and stuff. That's where I get my hair products. I went back to what I was doing when I was little. Just a simple thing like that. That's a black-owned business that's been there for decades and has now merged with the bookstore. They're in the same space. But if we don't support that family, if we don't just if I don't take my butt to the Walgreens around the corner, but I drive 5 minutes to get to the I keep on calling it Willis, the hair and stuff to get my hair products, I owe them that. I owe them to drive and get that stuff instead of going around the corner to Walgreens.
Right now, one of the things I'm studying right now is I said a statement to Brother Kwame, the Black Yoda. I said, and excuse me for going here, but when I watch gangster movies, they always talk about this thing of art, La Cosa Nostra. And Brother Kwame, who was studying the Kemetic language, hieroglyphs and stuff like that, he told me the word that they used in ancient Kemet to describe their thing. We have our thing. And family, don't be disappointed with yourself because you didn't know, because we didn't know. We were educated out of it. We was taught that our ancestral wisdom was foolishness or that it was witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? We got to come up out of that. And we got to stop okaying the behaviors of getting by, because the behaviors of getting by are not okay now. We can't have politicians clowning us in the way that they do now. You know what I'm saying? We at a point where for them to have a hearing before a hearing, before they really get down to talking seriously about reparations should be an insult to a majority of us, not a minority. But I'm cool with that because I believe in the stubborn minority, because it is the stubborn minority that changes shit. It is the majority that makes what's happening okay. And it's the majority that if we allow them to continue to speak what they speak, especially in our circles, that will allow us to be exterminated because they don't know better. Everything's going to be all right. They wouldn't do that to us. Oh, no. This is America. We've been here. They won't do that to us. No. We will be exterminated because we talking about $17 trillion. $17 to $50 trillion. Nobody want to hear it. Nobody want to have that discussion. But they want to talk about DACA. They want to talk about war with Iran. They want to talk about Trump walking 3 feet into North or South Korea, or whichever place it is. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to talk about the difficulties of figuring. I want y'all to think about this. Think about this. They say that it's difficult to figure out who will get reparations. But I honestly believe that it would be more difficult to find out who's owed reparations than it would be to get Trump's tax return. They haven't been able to get Trump's tax return. And I honestly believe it's harder for them to get his tax return than it is for them to figure out who's owed reparations. If we look at the census, we know that they wasn't allowing black people into the country until 1965. So every family that has connections back before 1965 in some form or fashion is connected to what happened in America prior to 1965. It's not a hard process. We want to make it harder. We want to get into all this, but they are able to tell you, like if me and Sister Shay was sitting here right now, they would be able to tell you the conversation that me and Sister Sherry had an hour ago. But yet you can't tell me who was in America before 1965. I don't believe that. I have a problem with that. And we need to start squashing them on this bullshit, and we need to start squashing our own people that come with these arguments that justify them doing what they do. You're not allowed to do that shit to us no more. It's not allowable. Now, if we're not paying taxes, it's allowable, but I pay taxes. I went into the IRS, and they told me everything I had spent 5 years ago, told me everything that I spent 7 years, for 7 years, 5 years ago, 7 years back, they was able to pull out a folder and tell me everything that I spent. They was able to tell me every institution that I was at. They was able to tell me everywhere that I banked. And you mean to tell me that you can't keep track of, you don't have track of my ancestors that you've been taking taxes from? And then you mean to tell me that I don't have access to these places that I'm paying taxes for? I'm not on that. It's not okay, and we can't allow people to make it sound okay, and we can't have them justify with, well, you know, as black people, we ain't been. No, that's back then. We're talking right now, where they could tell us exactly the percentage of black people in Columbus, the percentage of our children in each and every last one of these schools. So if we want to open up a Saturday school, we should be able to open it up in a community school in our communities, not even including the charters. For us to be denied access to these resources, we should be going to court. Period. They shouldn't be able to tell us no on nothing. But hey, if we allow it, I had a young dude tell me the other day, and I say this on my show all the time. He said, "Hi, Tim, we need to run for the school board. We need to run for the city council Because the only reason they are doing what they do to us right now, especially in Columbus, is because of default. We default our rights. And I'm saying, family, it's time to stop. I don't give a fuck what plans they got for Afrocentric. I don't care what plans they got for East. I don't care what plans they got for South. We got to start having our voice in that conversation. And if we need to yell, we need to have people in that room that's going to yell for us. Rather than coddle and be like, well, this is the way it's always been. I don't know why you confused. I'm confused because y'all taking 40% of my goddamn check every time I get paid. I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I didn't even get to the folktale. I didn't even get to the folktale. But family, I am very frustrated at this point in time. I love every last one of you, even when I hang up on you. I love you, but please, you can't justify this bullshit. We got to stop justifying and stop being Jesus Christ for these motherfuckers to crucify. That is not our lot in life, and that is not the lot we want to leave for our children. Because when I have to seriously sit up here and wonder about my children's future, at least my mom has some comfort in my future. Well, maybe he can get a job in the rubber complex because I grew up in Akron. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. What do most of y'all envision for y'all children? Because most of the jobs right now, most of the jobs are going to either the jobs that pay real money are going to robots or individuals that have connections that your children don't have. So there will only be menial jobs if those are even existent. Because working at McDonald's, delivering post for the U.S. Postal Service, all those jobs that people are retiring on, except possibly for teachers, are leaving. They're gone. What is the future for your children? What is the future that you're paying taxes so that the government can protect for your children? Universal income is not the answer. Come on, fam. This is what I'm dealing with. Because I'm going to have to deal. And some of y'all that's my age, I'm 51. Some of y'all that my age, y'all need to be thinking like me because we're going to have to deal with all the young people that don't have a retirement and don't have no possible future. How you going to deal with a 21-year-old when you 80? Coming at you talking about, give me your cocaine, old man. That's the only thing left to sell. How you going to deal with that? Because there's no legacy for them. Because they didn't get up early enough, supposedly, according to... And let me say this, and I'm done after this. For years, I listened to motivational speakers, and I kept wondering what in the fuck is wrong with me. Listen to Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, and I'm listening to the CDs. Even up to this day, Eric Thomas. They're getting up earlier than all my peers, doing the study. And I kept wondering, what was wrong with me? What was wrong with me? Why am I just getting by? Why can't I go and kick it? You know what I'm saying? I have friends that will have stuff, and I'll be like, I'm doing everything that they're telling me. And then finally it hit me. Zig Ziglar wasn't talking to me. Les Brown wasn't talking to me. Tony Robbins wasn't talking to me. They was looking at America that had blocked my ancestor from being able to compete up to my daddy. You can understand, I'm 51. I was born in 1968. We got the right to actually literally vote in 1965. In my lifetime, they wasn't talking to me. They couldn't understand how how white men were broke when they had a head start on us. They wasn't talking to you. They wasn't talking to me. I'm like, and when they hit me, it's like, damn, I understand now. But that don't mean that we need to stop. I ain't gonna stop getting up early. I'm not going to stop doing the Daily Toast. I'm not going to stop writing. I'm not going to stop hustling. I'm not going to stop nation building. I'm not going to stop trying to start businesses. I'm not going to stop creating opportunities for people around me. But I understand that the talk that they had was not for me. And start developing a talk for our young people so that they could understand, so that they don't have to go through the struggle and understand that it's not them. Y'all don't understand, man, because really, I was listening to this shit religiously. And I'm sitting up here, I'm fucked up. What am I? What am I? I started doubting myself. I got the college degree. I finished the college. I did everything that people said I was supposed to do. And I'm still doing worse than my grandfather, who maybe made it up to about 5th grade. How is that possible?
By design.
By design. And the only thing I'm saying is, family, I want to give my child the ability to design his destiny, her destiny, for themselves and others. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think I'm wrong for that. I'm willing to give my life for y'all, for my tribe. But I'm trying to let y'all know, I'm not practicing my art. Y'all come to me and talk to me about my art, but I ain't practicing my art with nobody outside my tribe. I'm not practicing my principles with nobody outside my tribe, because nobody else practice this shit that we talk about and we teach our children. We send our children out there like lambs to the slaughter because we're teaching them to be righteous with motherfuckers that don't have righteousness in their heart for them. And I'm not going to teach my children that. So miss me with all this, because nobody else is teaching their children to expose their throat to their enemy. How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to face my children every day? Because I face 600 every day. How am I supposed to do that? Is that fair for them? When everybody else is teaching their children to take care of their own. And we teaching our children to take care of the world. How are we supposed to run anything? I mean, that's how deep it is for me. I mean, it was different when I was younger because I had energy. I had a sense of hope that Obama brought, a sense of transparency. And I'm teaching my sons this. Then one of my little brothers gets shot in the head because he being transparent with motherfuckers that want to be gangster with him. All right, family. I will see y'all in the morning. We're going to toast our ancestors. But in many ways, I am done with this shit. I am done with motherfuckers caping for the way shit has been happening. I'm done with motherfuckers calling in talking about universal principles when we the only ones practicing it. I'm done with setting my kids up for the woo. So I'm out. Y'all have a great night. I'm not even gonna make it to the folktale tonight, because like I said, when I get people and I don't even know what to say no more. So I won't say nothing else. I'm out. Peace.